Your eyes do not deceive you. The title of this video and what you're seeing currently on the screen is 100% a possibility. And the reason for that is because earlier today, this new artwork for Bleach came out. And this, FYI, is apparently the original Gotei 13, aka the captains of Soul Society. The original, a part of, like, with Yamamoto. As you can see, Yamamoto, his younger self, is literally in the middle of them. And if you have been watching the anime, even if, let's say, you are a, anime only, you will definitely recognize Yamamoto because there's his younger version. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there wasn't a whole lot of information really given on, let's say, the original 13. We never really got everything about them, and I believe this is the first time we actually got fully their designs showcased. Tite Kubo himself, the author of Bleach, finally released the designs of the original Gote 13, which is just, this is insane. But it doesn't just end there. The community discussion is obviously really big right now. I mean, we have a lot of people talking about it on Reddit as well. People are just talking about the designs, etc. And then we even have an interview with, Kubo, Tite Kubo, with the director of the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War anime in Core 1 opening, etc. And I'll talk about this in just a second. But the point is that this artwork reveal hints at a lot. It can be a few things, and I want to throw it out there to make sure we know what to expect, or, temper our expectations, so to speak. Now, I don't know exactly where this image originated from. I know leakers probably leaked this today. I believe maybe Jaymes might have said something or posted this. I could be wrong there, but the point is that this image, I believe, is the first time we've ever seen the 13 captains, and this hints at a potential possibility here. Either A, this is going to be new added content for the anime, which we have known for a long time now, that the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War anime will have added scenes and added content that wasn't in the manga, to kind of expand upon the series. And because of that, maybe this artwork is hinting at the possibility we are going to get expanded content for the Gote 13, the original, and get more backstory and world building to the series, which I think many of us would rally behind and be completely fine with if the anime wants to add something like this in. However, it can mean something else entirely. It can mean two things. It could either A, mean a prequel series, which focuses on the original Gote 13 and learning a lot more about Soul Society, maybe, the Quincy War, like when the Quincy's and, the Soul Reapers went against each other in a war, but also just getting just some nice little details on some of these characters and, establish more of Soul Society. I think it would be a really fantastic direction if Tite Kubo definitely does that. However, another possibility, this goes into a little bit of spoiler territory, and I'm going to try my best not to spoil it for anime-onlys that is watching this video, but thanks to the latest chapter, like, FYI, if you remember, there was, like, a special one-shot chapter that came out a while ago, like, I think almost a year ago now, for Bleach, and it basically was showcasing, like, the events after the manga, getting to see kind of, like, an adult Ichigo and all that, and just the characters, kind of like a, what they're doing now years later. And if anyone has read that chapter, you remember there was some hints at certain things with these characters here. Maybe this is implying that Tite Kubo is working on a follow-up to Bleach, a continuation, which is definitely a possibility, because obviously Bleach has been incredibly popular this season. I mean, nobody can really deny that. But also, I mean, there's just been a lot of spark and talk around it, so maybe the manga getting picked up again and continuing in some shape or form is 100% a possibility. Now, the other thing that this could be is just it's random artwork that Tite Kubo threw out there just to give some conclusion to maybe what the original 13 looked like, and that's about it. So there's obviously ways to view this, but clearly this is a fantastic day because we finally get some designs for, characters that have been basically silhouettes since we heard about them. So I'm happy we finally got the design of these characters, which, by the way, I love all these designs. Like, man, the guy in the back right here with the tattoo and all that man looks scary. I'm just gonna say, he legitimately looks scary. So let's get into this interview that came out. The first time I saw it was in a recording studio, and I remember being surprised by the very stylish images. The shades of gray, pink, and white. The contrast and the color scheme are beautiful. and beautiful, and the expression of gradation is very rich and nice. Is this the opening of an anime? I was just amazed. And then Kubo responds with, the timing of the storyboard, I knew from that moment that it was going to be interesting. I was really looking forward to seeing the finished project because I had picked up a trope of a troop of flowers that had never been seen in previous openings. Was this director Togashi's idea? Taguchi said yes. When I thought about how to differentiate it from previous openings, I wonder if I could differentiate it by incorporating flowers. The past openings were all cool, but I thought that the theme of the battle would inevitably be similar. The composition is such that many characters face off against the enemy in each cool episode. The story of the Thousand Year Blood War has the same structure, but I wanted to make it something that has never been seen before. For, the Bleach anime. Was it director Taguchi's idea to use a limited color palette in opening? Taguchi says, yes, that's right. I was conscious of differentiating this from the other openings, and I didn't want it to be buried among the many colors in the past images. I used this color because the Thousand Year Blood War is stamped with bright and vivid red, purple, magenta. Thought that an opening with such sharp colors would fit Bleach as well. Laughs. Flowers other than those of the 13 core also make an appearance. Taguchi says it's called Glorosa? It's Ichigo's flower. I suggested to Kubo-sensei, can I set it as Ichigo's flower? He answered yes, and it will look good on the screen. Glorosa has a very beautiful meaning in the language of flowers. It means courage/bravery. I thought it was a good word to use to describe Ichigo, as well as to describe the entire The Thousand Year Blood War arc. Also, the shape of the flower is unique, and it blooms in a flame-like form. I think this is also a point that attracts people to this work. I do think that this definitely fantastic. I mean, I talked about this when I first saw the opening for my, episode review. I talked about how the color contrast of the opening, I really just love the grays and the hues with the pink or the purple type look. I think that it definitely adds a nice stylish look to, Bleach that, like they said, has never really been seen before for the Bleach opening songs. Now, here's the other interview, so wait, let me read this. So, Kubo explains his high involvement in production of the Bleach Thousand Year Blood War. So this is his high involvement. Kubo, the first step is to determine the overall flow and how much of each story will be included in each episode. Basically, how much content we'll cover in each episode, like chapters, etc. It was at the stage of the series composition. At that time, I also informed them of my request. For example, I told them that they could cut comedy scenes as they seem fit, and an animation would sound if the comedy is the same as in the original work, manga, it would destroy the atmosphere. After that, we check the script for each episode and tell them, I want this part to be like this, or I want this scene to be included, etc., as appropriate. I'm wondering if it's okay to be so opinionated. Next one up, Taguchi says, no, I am very eager to ask him to do so. Laughs. There is a big difference when they have been checked by Kubo-sensei and when they have not, especially the dialogue. It's totally and completely different. It returns from Sensei as a real Bleach. No, it returns from Sensei as a real Bleach. I'm assuming this is a translation error. I thought I had grasped the characters, so I constructed the original direction and lines of the animation and asked Sensei to confirm them. But when I read the lines, he came back with the nuances were completely different. So a scenario meeting was held. When the meeting started with his return, everyone in the room was like, whoa, 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 oh, this is it, and then started to laugh. So, basically, from what we can see here, is that Tite Kubo, he definitely is getting a lot of say and sway within the anime of the Thousand Year Blood War, which is great. I'm glad to see he has a lot of pull and pushback to where he can get things the way he wants done, because there is definitely things that, he probably wants to see added. But also, I'm glad to see that he is fine with some things being cut. And let's talk about that. So, he talks about how he's okay with certain comedy scenes being cut. And I think that this is completely A-okay. Because, let's be honest here. Sometimes comedy within a manga definitely will not properly apply the same in an anime, especially with sound effects or the atmosphere that's building up with the music. It feels completely out of place. And so, when you see that moment, it shows that Tite Kubo is willing to, actually be flexible. He's willing to cut things if they're willing to work with him and add things that he wants. And I think that is a nice middle ground between the studio getting to do what they want and Tite Kubo being able to do what he wants. I think that is perfectly fine. So yeah, it's a really nice interview. A nice insight. It seems like Tite Kubo has some good relationship going on, like a really good relationship with the studio working on it. So that's always good news. But yeah, it's honestly been a crazy day. Everybody's like talking about it, and it just like, once again, the original Gote 13 as well, as I discussed earlier in the video. Just what a day to be a Bleach fan. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Just wanted to be the bearer of good news. But be safe, stay healthy, everyone. I love you. If you enjoyed the video and I brought you any form of new knowledge or whatever, do leave me a like. But with that, Chibi out.